Hello everyone. Today in this video we shall try to understand Foucault's fundamental concept, power knowledge. So in our very layman's perspective or basic layer of meaning, power and knowledge are always regarded as two separate concepts where power is more often constructed with the association of political context and knowledge is more connected to epistemological or pedagogical context. But Foucault argues that power and knowledge they cannot be separated, and moreover they are inextricably linked, such that it doesn't make any sense to speak of one without the other. Hence, as per Foucault's theory of power knowledge, it needs to be conjoined together to create one single concept, which he calls power knowledge. And a point to be noted out here that Foucault never uses power and knowledge in his essay. Rather, he uses power knowledge together within one idea. So, according to Foucault, any knowledge is possible and it takes place only when it is operated within a vast network or system of power relationships, because it will allow the knowledge to come within it and to be accepted as a true, or we can say truth. Because any knowledge, even though it's produced, but if it's not accepted to be the truth in that particular network of system, then it will be failure to produce a power within it. As we know that knowledge has a power and knowledge also produces power, so the relationship between power knowledge is also associated with the production of truth or with the notion of truth, which Foucault emphasizes much on it. Say for instance, scientific knowledge may be produced only as the result of some well funded academic institutions or governments, each of which is rife with its own visible and often invisible power relationships, economies, and strata. Now, think of the differences in the relationships between upper management, mediocre management, and some lower level employees. And to a very large extent, this system of power relationships it define the agenda or the strata that organization will follow, or that organization will be, accepted in a system of operation of power. But what is most important in this regard is that it should be, whether it should be included in or excluded from the domain of truth and the domain of knowledge within that specific context. So basically, in other words, we can say any system to be sustained, to be retained, the truth within the knowledge needs to be contained in that particular ecosystem of the operations of power. And the same is also true for the relationship between power and knowledge. The systems of power, whether it's governmental, academic, cultural, corporate, scientific, or any other such operations, it needs to be justified. Okay, so it needs to be justified by that system, by that wave of beliefs which we need to be, which we need to accept, we can say, as truth or as knowledge. So basically, the truth or knowledge can be produced more powerfully in a system only when it is accepted by people of various ranks or by people of various roles within that particular context. And if it's not possible, it will not be able to produce that power. So, according to Foucault, what we are really dealing with the concept of power knowledge is not a single motive, rather, it is a vast web system of power relationships and web systems of knowledge, where the majority is not just a common attention to any particular society context or institution, or in a very simplified way we can say Foucault's concept of power knowledge is not limited, it is beyond limitation, because as per Foucault's notion of truth, power knowledge, power is everywhere. Where there is power, there is truth, or in other words we can say truth lies at the hands of the power. And that's why Foucault's concept of power knowledge is utterly important to understand, so that Foucault's theory of power can be understood in a very, I will say, in a maybe lateral meaning. Okay, so see, when we talk about power, the very basic understanding which comes to our mind is, someone is powerful by money, someone is powerful by status, someone is powerful by rank, officials, and so on. But Foucault is not concerned with that. Foucault discusses that power is everywhere, irrespective of any rank, officials, or orders. So according to Foucault, power can be seen everywhere, where it does not require to be the relationship of some high monarchical order or high hierarchical order. So any subject can produce power. A very simple example in our day-to-day life, environment in an academic institutions. Say for instance, the power is at the hand of a teacher while determining the scorecard of a student or determining the grade sheet of a student. Okay, so the power lies at the hands of the particular teacher or the system, but that same power can be reversed in the process where student provides feedback to the teacher, because at that time, the student has no power more than a teacher by rank or by social status. But since the student is able to determine the teaching quality of a teacher, it gives that particular student that holding capacity or that production of power. So that is what Foucault means here. So, to sum up in a few words, it can be said that Foucault's notion of truth, power, knowledge is diffusive in nature, just like a perfume gets diffused in the air and it gets spreaded away everywhere. Similarly, power is diffused in the medium and it gets spread away through that every medium. You cannot hold, not only you, I'm considering us, we cannot hold power, we cannot limit power, we cannot structure power within a certified web system. It will eventually grow, it will eventually shift away from that centralizing or stabilizing authority of power. So power is described or discussed by Foucault in a lateral relationship rather than up down or down up relationships. Thank you.